Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 268 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my remote brother from my mother, Sean.
How are we doing?
Fantastic. If this is the first time you're seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. Also, make sure you hit that little bell so you get notified whenever we post a new video or go live with like GTA shenanigans or whatever. And also, if you like audio services, that's cool too. Just give us a thumbs up, 5-star review, or whatever your service does. Thanks. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. Just like our affiliates, James Solar, Sarah Solar, John Tingley, and Derek Bamford did, as well as our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, Vernon Slayton, and Dustin Downs. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. I got a new t-shirt. Looks similar to our t-shirts, but it's not. I love it.
Better.
I mean, yeah, because Konami sucks, but the cool thing, the tag here, which there's no way I'm going to try to show that right now because I'm not going to disrobe, but the tag is up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. And I appreciate that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Very
okay,
cool.
I had to fix the hair because I'm looking at myself and I can't take it. So now it's at least a little bit better. I got COVID finally, and I'm pretty much fine. I might sound a little weird. I feel like I sound a little weird. But after my wife, my 4-year-old, and my 7-year-old got it, I assumed I would, and I did. So I'm about 3 days past when I tested positive, and it's a bad cold. I'm congested. I'm coughing up all kinds of stuff, as Sean saw before we started recording. But yeah, so that's why we're doing this remote. Sorry to our affiliates that we couldn't stream this live. By next week, we'll be back unless Sean gets it, and then it'll be another week, but hopefully he won't. Hopefully we'll be back to normal next week. But yeah, I'm not sleeping well, but it's like it could be much worse. So I'm happy that it is not. Yay, COVID. I loved it. I think it was Jess that sent it to the family group about the whole it's like a dodgeball game that you've been on the back line for 2 years, and the front lines keep getting thinned out, and finally got thinned out enough to where I got it. And that's pretty accurate, I think. Sean.
Yes.
Do we want to talk football?
I mean, we can. Yeah. We'll keep it quick, but yeah, let's cover it.
Best weekend of football ever. Now, we were rooting for the Bills, so that kind of skews it. But before that game, and if I was impartial,
from a
I would say,
completely
yeah.
objective standpoint, I think, yeah, it has to be. I mean, you have 4 games, and they were all, walk-off wins.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that never happens. The smallest total point differential for a divisional round ever. The one, honestly, wait, what's the other game? There's that one. That one. Yeah, I think other than the Bills, I'm happy with the result of all of them. And I know we live in Tennessee. I have no connection to the Titans. I'm fine with them, but I know Kevin doesn't like them, but I really like Burrow. I like what the Bengals are doing. I wouldn't mind at all if they won it all. I don't see them getting past the Chiefs unless the Chiefs just beat themselves. And the Bills, man, their defense really kind of screwed them over. I get that it's the Chiefs,
Well,
it's
and the
Patrick
coaches.
Mahomes, whatever. Yeah. But You're supposed to have the number one defense, and they moved the ball at will. And the Bills played an almost perfect game, and it still wasn't enough. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was a heck of a game, but I don't know. I think the best Super Bowl we could get is LA and Kansas City, and I think that would be phenomenal. But
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
Burrow. I think he's a cocky little ish. I also don't like him for personal reasons. Nick Shafani. But yeah, I wanted Tennessee to win. It's so weird. Like we moved down here in 2003, which was only 4 years after the Music City Miracle. But over time, I've let that go, and I have found myself rooting for the Titans. But man, Ryan Tannehill is just garbage. Like he's not good. He's never been good. And you could tell that Henry was not 100% for sure.
no, definitely not.
And when he's not Derrick Henry, or you don't just say we're going to go with Deontay Foreman and just go from there. Tannehill cannot win games, and he showed that. I was happy Brady lost, and I texted one of my buddies like, even if the Bills lose, at least Brady lost. But then the game happened, and I was like, I cannot. I think what you want about overtime football and everything, but the fact that Josh Allen played as well as he did and didn't even touch the ball in overtime is a joke. And I do think Kansas City's going to wipe the floor with Cincinnati. Hi, Brittany. It's not even close. Like if Josh Allen and a much more talented team couldn't beat Kansas City, there's no way the Bengals have a chance. Like I feel like it's 7-point spread, but I feel like they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. The only one that I think is in doubt.
The Cincinnati defense is no slouch. I mean, they're not as good as Buffalo, but I mean, that clearly wasn't a typical Buffalo defense game. Yeah. So they just they screwed themselves over. But if the Cincinnati defense shows up and plays as good as they can, they beat them already. I mean, so did the Bills. So who knows? And the Bills beat them when the Chiefs weren't really the Chiefs. The Bengals beat them when they were back to being the Chiefs.
In Cincy.
But I think that was in Cincy. Yeah. So I don't know. And I'm no conspiracy theorist or anything, but the NFL doesn't want like a San Francisco Cincinnati Super Bowl.
Well, what I was hearing today, though,
it happened before, but
so the highest rated Super Bowl ever was the first one between Cincy and San Fran, because I think that was before cable was like a thing. There was like 5 channels back then or whatever. But yeah, but no, nobody wants to watch that game. That's horrible.
No, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is their star. I don't think. I'm not saying the NFL is going to try to do any funny business, but I don't see any way. And I like San Fran. I think their
Giants
magical run is kind of coming, but they're not going to beat LA. I know again, they also beat them earlier, but I think it's done.
Well, the whole thing is you can't beat a good one team cannot beat another team 3 times in one season. San Fran has beaten LA twice already, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think so. They've beaten them
I think they've beaten them 6 in a row or something. Yeah, it's something stupid.
They just they own them for some reason, but I don't know.
So yeah,
it was an entertaining week. I wouldn't be surprised if both this coming week's games are blowouts. I don't see either of them being overly competitive, but yeah.
Well, before we get to the video game stuff, as we are a video game podcast, I just went on Instagram before we started recording and I saw this from Men's Humor, and I wanted to ask you this. You have to delete one of these for the rest of your life. Which do you pick? The 5 choices are tacos, wings, bread, pasta, and burgers. To me, I'm going
Tacos,
wings.
wings, bread, pasta, and burgers.
I'm going wings. I can get chicken so many other ways. Wings are great. I know that, but I'm not giving up tacos. I'm not giving up bread for sure, because then you can't have a burger if you can't have bread. Pasta, hell no. And burgers, no way. It's wings for me.
It's not tacos. It's not pasta. I don't know. Man, I don't know. That's tough. I guess
You got to pick one.
I would probably say wings too, because you can get your chicken fix other ways. Like,
Nugs.
yeah, I guess I'd probably go wings. Yeah, you still got the nugs.
I think wings is the only answer. Like, I love chicken wings, but like you said, and I said, you can get good chicken so many other ways. Like, I'm not going to give up tacos any day of the week. I'm not going to give up bread. I'm not going to give up pasta, and I'm not giving up burger. Like, no, it's wings. I think wings is the only answer. And if you say anything else, then I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
All right, so we agree. One thing we won't agree on, which doesn't make any sense, but it's a segue, is our PlayStation wrap up for 2021. This stupid website finally started working for both of us today.
Okay, before we get into that,
yes,
I hate PlayStation. Like, so twice I did a chat with them online. And just basically to say, hey, my wrap up's not working. I clearly had more than 10 hours. I'm over 18. I live in the US. I've got my settings to like full data share, whatever, all this. First time, I basically just get this canned response. Thank you for your blah, blah, blah. We have not heard of any issues, which I call BS on. We have not heard of any issues with this. We suggest trying on different networks and blah, 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 blah. And like, the chat just like closed. I'm like, I didn't even get to see the message. So I'm like, what just happened? So I had to go and click on like save transcript to actually go back and read what was said. I'm like, okay. Next day, I try again, still not working. I do another chat. I say, my wrap up's not working. I'd said everything I said before, but then I added on, I've also tried multiple devices, multiple browsers on multiple different networks. It's not working. I did a chat yesterday, and I basically got an answer saying that you guys aren't aware of this problem, but I can tell you multiple people are experiencing it.
Multiple.
What can I do? And they basically just sent the same, like it's a copy and paste. They just sent me the same message again and just like close chat. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and they said in the same thing, we suggest waiting and trying again and maybe trying on different networks, because I'm like, I'm not going to let you just say that same thing to me again. And they did. I've been messaging Ask PlayStation on Twitter, like DMing them, no response. I've tagged them in like tweets, nothing. They suck. But yes, randomly it finally started working today.
Yeah, I tweeted them multiple times, and somebody responded to me, was like, hey, reach out to this guy on Instagram. And it's some guy that likes unlocks PlayStation accounts. I was like, nah,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not reaching out to this guy. But finally it did work, thankfully, before we recorded. I will go first. So here's our 2021 PlayStation wrap up. So we're going to go category by category. Last year, I played, meaning me and my family, which it'll make sense here in a minute, 628 total hours on PlayStation. Sean, what was your number?
499.
That's all you. So you played way more than I did. Okay.
Yes. And I mean, I'll forget about this a year from now. I spent a lot of time, spoiler alert for I've spent a lot of time in January playing Final Fantasy X.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't affect this. So yeah, it'll be next year.
No,
yeah.
But next year I'm going to have, plus with the way this year is shaking up, I might hit 1,000 this year.
Hell yeah. Okay, so hours breakdown. This was interesting, but I mean, not really when I get to the next category. But okay, so 35% of my total playtime was on PS5 games for 219 hours. 65% was on PS4 for 409 hours. I played 538 hours locally, 90 hours online. Probably 5 of that was GTA Online. 5 of that was me. 237 days I played PlayStation, and I spent 0 hours in VR, obviously. Sean, what are your stats?
60%, 300 hours of my time was on PS5.
Wow.
40%, 199 was on PS4. Of my 499 hours, 496 were played locally with 3 hours of online, which was probably our one GTA 5
That was our stream. Yep.
That was the only time I played anything online, apparently. 155 days. So I average
Almost
when I play,
almost
I
every
average
one every two.
about 3 hours
Yeah.
a day. Like if I play, I'm playing for 3 hours on an average day, and 0 hours in VR, which I guess makes sense because I guess it has been a while since I played
It's been a while.
RE7 in VR. I would have thought it was last year, but it must have been 2020. But yeah.
Well, hopefully both of us will get more hours in VR this year, but we'll see what happens. In 2021, I played 35 games. My number one, of course, is Minecraft. James, I know you've said that like I can, share benefits, whatever. I can't. All you can do with PS Plus, because I researched, you can share your library with other accounts on your PlayStation, but I can't just give someone PS Plus to play online and stuff with Minecraft. So I can't do it. But the number one game played, of course, I played this for maybe 30 minutes with Casey. Minecraft, number one. Total hours is
200.
Dear God, 317. I'm not even kidding.
Is that all, Casey? Like, did Nick and Noah play it all, or?
Oh, Nick did too. I mean, Noah didn't really, but
Okay.
Nick played a lot of Minecraft. He and Casey both played, so I almost feel like it's counted twice. I don't know. All right, but now we get to my games. So I wish they would have counted 6 games instead of 5 because only 4 of these are mine. But number 2 for me, Madden 22, 34 hours. Wow. Number 3 for me, Death Stranding Director's Cut, 31 hours. Number 4, Demon Souls, 19 hours. And I feel like I played it for probably 9 or 10 hours before the new year. So that tells you how much time I put into Demon Souls. Because I know I beat it this year, so it makes sense. But at number 5, Returnal, 18 hours. Couldn't get past level 2, but I put 18 hours into this stupid freaking game. Oh my God. Sean, show me your stats.
Wait, so what was your total again? I mean, not yours, but according to the thing, how many hours and how many were Minecraft?
628 and 317 were Minecraft.
So you had about 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over half of the time on my PlayStation was my kids playing Minecraft.
Right, yeah. So mine makes sense, although looking back, I mean, I don't know. My number 1, 77 hours.
Returnal.
Hades.
It took you that long to get the platinum?
That's a big platinum. And not far behind with 74 hours, Returnal.
Wow.
Number 3, no platinum to show for it. 48 hours, Resident Evil Village.
Oh my God.
I mean, I played through the game like 4 times, I think.
Well, yeah, it didn't even show up
every time, but like, well, that's what's funny. Like, even my number 5, what was your number 1? I mean, not Minecraft.
My number one was Madden 34.
See, my number 5 was 42 hours. So I must have played a lot more PlayStation than you. Or you definitely played more games. Oh, I don't think I covered that. I only played 24 games. So I didn't play as many games.
Yeah, I played 35.
So maybe you just spent more time. I don't know. I mean, no, I spent more time, but I don't know. Okay, so number 3 was Resident Evil 48 hours. Number 4, this is kind of shocking, although I guess it makes sense. And I got the platinum. Number 4, 45 hours. Castlevania Advanced Collection.
It took you 45 hours. Oh my God.
And I mean, probably 30 of that was just bonus crap trying to get the platinums. Like, I probably beat the 4 games in like 10 hours total. And then what's funny, number 5, which only made up probably the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks of the year. I don't really remember. Final Fantasy X. 42 hours.
Oh my God. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the next segment. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So next up is trophies. Now, I think you beat me here. I think we already talked about that, right?
I think so.
Okay. So I had 571 trophies total. I had 16 platinums, 139 gold, 81 silver, which tells you I was doing some cheap platinums, and 335 bronze. Sean, stat that.
You have more gold than silver?
Yeah, because of cheap games. It's fine. I'm not ashamed. It's fine.
Weird.
Well, thank you, East Asia. Thank you, East Asia Soft, for all those review codes for those horrible games. I appreciate it.
So I got 825 trophies. 21 platinums. I'm catching up to you. In another decade, maybe I'll pass you by PlayStation 7.
Well, I still got to get road bustle in some of those that you have. But yeah.
Yeah. I had, weirdly enough, also 139 gold trophies.
Wow.
But I had 159 silver and 506 bronze.
Oh my God. But you also, like, you went through Hades, Returnal, Death's Door,
Castlevania.
Castlevania had a lot of trophies.
Most of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job at you. That makes me happy. By the way, go back and watch our video where Sean says that he hates trophies. All right. Is there anything else? Nope, that's it.
Nah, the rest of it's stupid.
Yeah. So I feel like this didn't have as much data as it did in previous years, but whatever. But yeah. I like that. I like that PlayStation does this. I like that it works. I hate that my kids screw up my freaking data every year. I should just delete Minecraft and say play it on the Switch or play it on the Xbox. I don't care. But no more on my PS5.
Yeah.
They probably already played it for like 50 hours this month anyways. So it's gonna skew everything no matter what. So that was our PlayStation wrap-ups for 2021. Sean, you've alluded to it a lot. Why don't you tell me what you've been playing this past week or so?
Majority of it was I'm out of water.
Brittany,
Final Fantasy X.
So what was so bad about this platinum?
So it was just long and grindy. There were some parts that were legitimately difficult, like by far the worst was the Chocobo racing thing. It's unbelievably just stupidly difficult.
Your monitor just added a nice backlight and then it turned off.
No, I turned it off because I saw it light up.
Oh, okay.
I've done it probably at least twice, maybe 3 times in the past, and I always struggle with it, but I feel like I was struggling more this time. I was looking up all sorts of YouTube videos. Everybody was saying the same thing. And then I eventually saw somebody post, and I don't know if they just came up with it on there. I don't know where this comes from, but they're like, try it while holding L1, L2, R1, and R2 down. And they're like, I don't know if it's a placebo effect or what, But all of a sudden, I was just dodging birds better, and it seemed like it controlled a little better, and blah blah blah. I'm like, I've got nothing to lose. I'm gonna try it.
Right.
And the first time I did it, do you remember what it is? So there's like all these, you're racing against another person, but there's all these like balloons laid out, and there's random birds flying at you. And you have to get, for every balloon you get, it takes 3 seconds off your time. For every bird you hit, it adds 3 seconds, but it also like stuns you. So each bird is probably like 4.5, 5 seconds.
I feel like you've talked about
And-
this over the last 6 years on this
Yeah.
podcast many times. Yeah.
And so you need to get a negative time. And I
Okay.
think the first time I did it holding all the shoulder buttons, I think I got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds after getting like struggling to get into single digits. And I'm like, I can't imagine that had anything to do with it, but I had a good run there. I'm going to keep doing it. And I beat it within another, I don't know, 7 or 8 tries. So I don't know that I'll ever play this game again, or at least do that
No.
part again. But like once I started doing that, it seemed to make a difference. So I don't know. There were some other things that scared me, just like, first of all, maxing out. There's a trophy for maxing out one person's sphere grid. Then there's another one to do it across everybody. At the time, even just maxing out one seemed like a chore. But I'm like, I know I can do it. It's just, do I really want to invest that much time? But so that's what I spent the vast majority of my time. Well, I don't know about that. At the end, it was like 95% of what I was doing the last 3 weeks or so of playing that game was just spent on that. And it's basically, if you have to like create a certain armor that makes it so instead of your overdrive bar charging, it instead counts more towards your leveling up. And then you can also customize your armor to be like triple overdrive. And then you can also modify it to be triple experience. So every time you get hit, instead of, it would triple your overdrive, instead of giving you a little bit on your overdrive gauge, it would give you triple the amount. And instead of it adding to your overdrive gauge, it adds to your leveling up. And then you've also got that tripled again. So basically you just fight this guy that hits you for 99999 every time. And you set your overdrive gauge to charge. Like you can have it so it charges when you attack somebody, or when you kill somebody, or when you get hit, or one of your other people gets hit, or whatever. And so you set it so that, you gain overdrive when you get hit. So you fight this guy that just automatic one shots you 99999 every time he hits you.
999.
Which would like really fill up your overdrive. And it triples that, and then it all goes towards your experience, and then that gets tripled. So you fight that guy a couple times, you get up to like 99 levels to go move around the sphere grid. But when you're moving around the sphere grid that much, you run out of the spheres you actually need to activate all the nodes. So whenever you run out of power, speed, mana, or ability spheres, you got to go fight this other guy. And if you use this item, he drops a bunch of those. You have to like keep recharging your sphere levels to be able to move. You have to keep killing this other guy to keep getting the spheres you need to activate them. It's just like this it was just never ending. So that was just that was a chore getting through that.
Do you have any idea how many hours this ended up taking you?
Hundreds. I have no idea.
Okay.
Hundreds, probably. There's some other stuff that I never even bothered with when I've played through the game before. There's this lightning dodging thing where in the thunder plains, like there's a flash and then you get struck by lightning. But when you see that flash, if you hit X, you like dodge it. And it doesn't do any damage, I don't think, or maybe it does, but to get one of the person, I mean, it doesn't even matter. There's a trophy for doing the lightning dodging. You have to dodge 200 lightning bolts in a row.
God, in a row?
And in the past,
not total?
Yeah, in a row. So in the past, when I've tried to just dodge the lightning bolts, I don't know that I've ever been able to dodge more than like 3 or 4 in a row. So I'm like, I don't know that I'm ever actually going to be able to get that trophy. Like it seems impossible. There's got to be an easy way to do it. So eventually I found, a video with like this easy way, go to this area, look for this spot on the ground. And anytime you run over it, it just automatically triggers the lightning. So you basically run over it. Don't wait for the flash to hit X. Just hit X as soon as you touch that spot and you'll automatically dodge it. So I started doing it. I'm like, holy crap, this works just as advertised. Like I can get to 200. My first try, I got to like 170 something and I got hit. I'm like, come on. So then I tried it again. I think the next time I got to like 120 and then I got hit. I think the next time I only got to like 40 and I got hit
What
and I
the
just had to walk
hell?
away. I'm like, I need to get in a better mind space right now. So I just took a break, went back, and I eventually got it.
Is
Then
that
there was
what
all
made
just like the
you
fight.
what so like Brittany's tweet and everything, what made you collapse when you finally got the platinum? Was it that? Because it sounds like it was freaking
So the last thing I did, there's another chocobo race that's not nearly as bad, but it's like this winding thing, and you're again racing another chocobo, and basically you have to get to the middle before the other one does. But spread throughout the track are these treasure chests you can open, and if you open one and beat the other chocobo, you get something. If you open two and beat the chocobo, you get something. There's a trophy for getting 5 chests and beating the other chocobo. And you basically have to memorize the exact path to take to hit all of the chests in the most streamlined way possible. But then there's a lot of RNG where the other chocobo is basically going to finish their race in, I think it's like 34 to 37 seconds. And unless they are on one of their like random 37-second runs, you have no chance to beat it. So you got to hope that they have a slow run and you hit it perfect and you cut all the corners just so. So that was the last thing I did. But I tried it a few times and I was getting pretty close. I'm like, okay, I've got this. I know I can do it. It's nowhere near as bad as the other one. But I don't know that I really set out. I really just wanted to do the stuff that I'd never done in the game. Like really max out my stats and try to beat all these optional like dark aeons, all these optional like big time bosses, just because I'm like, this is a gap in my backlog. I love this game. I feel like I need to do it. And I'm like, maybe I'll get the platinum. But I'm like, I need to do all that, see where I'm at, and then see if the platinum is really doable. And by the time I did all of like the combat stuff and beat all the optional bosses, which was a pain in and of itself, I was to the point where I'm like, okay, there's the lightning dodge thing. There's this other chocobo race, but it's basically just filling in everybody's sphere grids. And that by far was just the most annoying part. None of it was particularly difficult with the exception of the one chocobo race thing that I've talked about ad nauseum. None of it was that difficult. It was just annoying. It was just nonstop. It just took forever. That being said, for the most part, I enjoyed it. Like I really love this game. It's a top 10 all time for me. Maybe even top 5. I don't know where it would end up, but like it was still fun. And I'm glad I got to do a lot of the stuff that I never actually completed all the other times that I beat the game. So, but I feel like I have closure now. Like I love this game, but now that I've gotten the platinum and especially everything that went into it, I just don't know that I'll ever play it again. So
right. So
but yeah, I'm happy to get that. And what's weird, I'm guessing there's also another platinum for X2, but like it doesn't say that I got a platinum. I guess just because it goes by the game itself. Like it shows that I got the platinum in the X2 HD collection, whatever, not just Final Fantasy X.
right.
I'm guessing there's just 2 platinums but I mean, X2 is terrible. I'm not even going to play it, let alone try to get the platinum, but it's weird that it just shows up as I platinumed the Final Fantasy X, 10-2 collection, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So
is this now you're most proud of platinum, or is it Hades? Is it Bloodborne? Is it, Returnal?
That is a good question. I think it's still probably Bloodborne, just because that was difficult. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but like that required actual skill. Like some of those bosses were just stupid. This was just like you could do it.
I was going to say I could get this platinum if I had the
like the hardest bosses. I mean, it's a turn-based game, so the hardest bosses were like, here's the pattern that they're going to do, and some of the ultimate penance. It's like the final optional boss. And it's basically, you just have to do everything perfect. It's like, okay, if it does, there's this hidden counter you need to just kind of keep track of, where if they do this attack, it adds 3 to it. If they do this attack, it adds 2 to it. And every time it gets to 21, it's about to do this attack. And if it does that attack, you're all dead. So when you get to the turn before they do that attack, you have to do this in order to survive it, and blah, blah, blah. There's like all these things that can go wrong, but it's like, just follow the pattern and you'll beat it. So it wasn't that difficult. I mean, like, mentally, it was way more difficult mentally than physically.
Right.
Yes. I think my most proud one is still Bloodborne. Returnal's up there. Hades is up there. Cuphead is up there. This is up there. But I think it's probably Bloodborne. And I don't know that I'll ever... I don't know, unless like Elden Ring. I don't know what platinum I could get that would be more difficult than Bloodborne. But yeah, I think that's probably still my number one.
We'll see here in a month. That's what I say, because I feel like you're going to get the Elden Ring platinum. But then I'll save it.
I'm going to look at the trophy list, but it's one of those things, until I know what the game is, I'm not going to be able to make sense of whether any of the trophies are difficult. Like, I don't know. I'd like to get it, but that game, it just seems ridiculous. So we'll see.
What else you played?
Other than that, the only other thing I've played so far, which I'm sure you'll talk about also, is Trigger Witch. I'm guessing you're further than I am.
Yep.
Where am I? I think I just went up to the fortune teller or whatever, when it gets a cool view of like the overworld of the map. So now I get to go
the thing that I tweeted. Yeah.
Cover like the second half of the map or whatever.
Nooksvar.
So I think I'm about halfway. But I like the game a lot. The controls, and I remember thinking this last time, the controls are weird. I don't like how it's like, when you run out of ammo, it automatically switches back to your hand cannon. And then if you wait a few seconds, then your other gun gets its ammo back, and then you can hit L1 to switch back to that weapon. But other than that, when you hit L1 and R1, it just switches between the two. The whole like gun switching and reloading thing never really clicked with me before, and I'm realizing it again that I don't particularly like it. Most of the upgrades I've done so far have been to the hand cannon, just because I'm like, I end up using that gun more than anything else, because as soon as I run out of ammo on something, I end up just using the hand cannon for a while until I can clear all the enemies and be like, okay, I got to get my other weapon back out. So I've been upgrading that more than anything, and it's super powerful now. But I don't like the control aspect of the gun switching and stuff. But other than that, I'm loving this game. Again, I mean, I knew I loved it, but yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, so I've gotten better this time at, so if you can have 2 guns on your back, and those are your L1 weapons. What I've gotten better at this time than I was, at least I think better at than I was the first time, is, so yeah, if you're using L1 and you've got the, the assault rifle, whatever, you go through all your ammo and then you switch to the hand cannon. If you hit L1 once, it goes back to the weapon with no ammo. And then it's just going to go, nope, no ammo, back to the hand cannon. But if you hit L1 twice, you go to your secondary weapon, and then you're good. And you can keep doing that. Your original L1 is going to keep, refilling the ammo and everything, and you're good to go. The other thing that I didn't do last time, which I've started doing this time, is going into the settings and setting, like if you hold L1, you can select your weapon, whatever. But if you hold L1, you push right stick up, and then you can assign that weapon to up, down, left, or right on the D-pad.
Yeah.
So that you can go bam, bam, bam. You can keep switching between all of them, which I got my 10,000 points or whatever in the arena. And that was one of the reasons I did it, and I got the trophy kill 4,
so many enemies in
10 seconds with 4 guns
in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That one, I struggled with that event. I mean, I got it eventually. I mean, I haven't gotten it on this playthrough yet, but I remember struggling with that the first time.
But playing through it again, it's just reminded me how much I love this game. And I put it at number 6. I think you had it a little bit lower, 7 or 8. I can't remember.
It was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
But it's it's reminding me how much I love this game. Like, it's so smooth. The only thing I don't like about the PS5 version is I had to turn off the adaptive triggers, because I'm realizing what a lot of people have said about like Call of Duty and other first person shooters and stuff is like, when you're in the middle of a game, the adaptive triggers are cool, but I don't want to have to like to aim and then to shoot, you know? So I turned that off. So really I'm playing the exact same game I played the first time, because my TV doesn't do 120 FPS. It's just 60, and that's plenty. I don't need 120. It's whatever.
Is the trophy list different?
No, it's the exact same. I went side by side.
Okay.
It's the same. Yeah.
Because there's some, like, there's the trophy for like shooting your gun in your house. I'm like, I don't remember that.
I did it by
for, like,
accident
shooting into the portal thing.
The void.
I'm
Yep.
like, I don't remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's like a few that I got early on that I'm like, I don't remember that being a thing, but I guess it was.
They were. It's there were some when I was going back and looking at the trophy list, I was like, oh man, there's one where it's like you got to get spread fire between 20 enemies with the flamethrower. But all that means is eventually like set 20 enemies on fire. So that was easy. There's the one up in the I can't remember what it's called, where you get the sacred symbols trophy. You know, in the floating fortress, whatever it's called, you got to have 10 enemies fall down and die. That's just it just happens. It's fine.
It just happens.
Yeah. I'm into now Nuxvar Castle, which is the one where you walk. Well, I won't spoil it for you in case you forget. But one of the trophies there was like you had to kill 10 or 20 enemies in the dark, because, you know, everything's dark and whatever. And I just got that. At first I was trying, and then I was like, I'm screwing myself up. I just have to just kill people and deal with it, whatever. And I got that trophy too. So I feel like I'm going to be able to get everything pretty easily. It'll be interesting to see. And I don't even know if I can go back and even check my playtime, because I did New Game Plus. I'd probably have to go back and listen to our podcast, because I did New Game Plus after I got the platinum on PS4 for a little bit, but that was before they patched it. So whenever you went into a dungeon, you had the whole dungeon unlocked. So I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm going to get this platinum quicker than I did the other one. But like I said, I'm in Nuxvar Castle, so I've got to beat that. And then I think it's just then I go to, you know, the moon or whatever to fight the Man in Black, which now that I know who the Man in Black is, when you see him show up and you see his little mustache,
you can see it. Yeah.
I'm like, it's so good. It's so good. But Jono beat me to the platinum. I went back and looked at my PS4 trophies for Trigger Witch, and you and I were right there at like 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. I forget what it was, but I'm not going to be that high on PS5 because it's taken me, you know, a few days now. I do anticipate that I'm going to get the platinum here the next day or two. I would say maybe 2 days. But I needed this game because, like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, before we did the impromptu Xbox podcast, which we're going to get into here in a minute, I was just in a rut. Like I got my Series S for Christmas. I played Halo. I played Forza. I played Dead Cells. I played Battletoads. I played all this stuff, and it was almost just like paralysis by analysis. Like I just had too much to play. And then when I went and looked up the trophy guide for Guardians, I was like, oh my God, I already missed trophies, or I already missed collectibles in the ship at the start of the game. So now I'm like, I got to restart, because now I'm playing this game because I want to play it, but I want to get the platinum. And now that I've already missed collectibles, maybe I could get them later on. I don't know. But like, even when you get down to that first planet before you fight anybody, I know I've missed collectibles, and I'm like, I have to start over. And now I don't even
remember. You don't have to get all of them. You need to get like 65%. You need to get all the
that's
outfits.
true. Okay.
So I missed an outfit in like the second or third area, just because when I was following the guide, it's like, oh, you go back here. But I'm like, I don't know. Have I already passed it? I guess I'm going to keep going. And then I got to a part where I couldn't go back. I'm like, ugh. So once I beat the game, I just like made a beeline to get back to that area and got that one outfit that I was missing. But yeah, with the exception of the outfit, as long as you didn't miss any outfits and you haven't missed a ton of collectibles, you should be fine. Okay. I think the highest trophy for the collectibles is like get 65% or 75%. Like you don't need 100% of them. I definitely missed a few, I think, early on. So
Okay.
as long as it wasn't an outfit, you're fine.
But yeah, for me, it's just like going back to Trigger Witch. It was just like this is what I needed. I want
Yeah.
as soon as Rainbite announced it and Jono was tweeting and everything, I was like, yes, this is going to be my 75th platinum. I'll have it here in a couple days. It's gotten me out of my funk. Again, I've been dealing with 3 other people in my family having COVID. Well, 5 if you count our mom and dad. And now I've got COVID and I just need it. Like, this is such a good palate cleanser to get me like back into playing games. I want to play Guardians. And then February is going to be insane. We got Horizon. A week later, we got Elden Ring. Sifu's there too. Dying Light 2, which I'm not going to play. But I mean, February is about to be insane. And I feel like this is the palate cleanser that I needed. One other palate cleanser I did play. I keep hearing people when I've been listening to sports talk radio and everything, especially focused around the Giants. And one thing, Kenny and Golich Jr., afternoons on ESPN radio, they're fine, whatever. But having Chris Canny on there, who's a former Giant, also former Cowboy, they talk about the Giants a lot. And one thing I kept hearing multiple times over the last couple of weeks is how if the Giants just would have taken Josh Allen at number 2 instead of Saquon, and then in the second round, they could have taken Nick Chubb. And I was like, you know what? I've heard this so much. I don't want to hear about it anymore. So I'm going to play Madden 22. And you know what I'm going to do, Sean? I'm going to trade. And I'm going to put Josh Allen on the Giants and Nick Chubb on the Giants. And I'm going to have fun with that. I simmed the first season. I bolstered the O-line. I may have signed someone as an undrafted rookie named Kevin White, who's a pretty good cornerback. And now I'm 3-0 in my second season. And it was just like, I played 34 hours last year, which is crazy to me. I didn't realize I played Madden that much, but like that combined with Trigger Witch has just gotten me back into the groove of playing games. And we all hate on Madden. Everybody hates on Madden, whatever. But I really thought this year was pretty darn good. Really, all I want to do is have a game that plays well, that has a decent franchise mode, and that's it. That's all I need, and that's what this gave me. And I'm probably going to keep dipping back in. Once the Super Bowl's over, I'll probably just be like, "Yeah, I'm fine now. I can delete it." But yeah, Trigger Witch and Madden helped me get out of my rut, I would say for sure.
So when is Horizon?
February 18th. Elden Ring is February 25th.
Okay. So I've got time. All I really want to do before Horizon is get the Trigger Witch Platinum, and I'm really dreading it, even though it probably only takes like 2 hours, but I need to go back and get the stupid PS5 Peppa Platinum.
Is there a separate list? Because I never saw PSN. I never saw PSN profiles tweet out if it was a separate list, or maybe it's just the same game that just got an upgrade. That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think it's a different trophy. I mean, I think you can get a second platinum.
Okay.
I think.
Well, I need you to research and let me know.
I think when Wario, I don't know if it was something Wario tweeted or something that he just like retweeted, but I saw like, it was like the other day, and it was like, my friend Peppa Pig, PS5 upgrade, and includes better frame rate and quicker loading. I'm like, this is freaking Peppa Pig we're talking about. How was it not good enough on PS4? Why could PS4 not run that game every bit as good as PS5? Like,
it's like a Flash game.
Do we even need this update? Yes,
it's like Strong Bad or something.
And it had issues. It had a lot of issues. So
really?
I'm curious to see. I mean, they're not going to change voice acting or anything, but there was a lot of just weird little hiccups and stuff, which I don't know. I'll be curious to see if PS5 fixes those. But yeah, that's the only real things that I think I want to get off of my plate before Horizon comes. I don't think there's any other platinum sitting out there waiting for me. So that's all I'm looking to get done over the next month or so. I mean, well, video game wise.
Yeah. So I got to get, so Trigger Witch is going to be 75. Peppa will be 76, hopefully 77. And then after that, I'm just going to try to get back into Guardians. You had it like number 3, right? Last year.
3 or even 2. I think 3.
Yeah. So I know you, obviously. I've known you for 40 years. Well, no, I've known you for 37 years. But like, so I know I'm missing something with this game. It's just, again, I had too much to play, whatever. So I do want to play that. But then like the good thing about Horizon, so it came out that there's one ending. But it's weird because you can make choices in the story and whatever, but there's only one ending. So it's not like we have to worry about beating the game 3 or 4 times or something. If the trophy list is anything like the first game, then I might, if I just go balls to the wall, I might be able to get the platinum in a week and then move on to Elden Ring. But if it's got a new game plus or a hard mode or something like that, then I may have to skip the platinum. But my goal is to enjoy Horizon and beat it in a week, see what the trophies look like and go from there. But like, man, when Elden Ring hits, I'm going to regret this, but like, I've got to play it day one. I just do. It's going to kick my ass. I know that, but I feel like after how much I love Demon Souls remake, I just gotta play Elden Ring as close to day one as I can.
So what's weird is I can very much hear your garage door.
Yeah.
But I never feel like I hear it on our normal podcast, but clearly the microphone does pick it up.
It definitely comes through. But yeah. And your monitor comes through.
It's weird. Too. I know. Because I can't just turn it
off.
I can't turn it off.
Oh.
There we go. Oh wait. That's weird. Anyway, we all kind of knew Horizon. We didn't know what it was called. Now it's Forbidden West, but like we always knew Horizon 2 was coming. Like we knew it was coming. It's weird that it's here already, but like, I don't know. Elden Ring is kind of up there, not to the same extent, but almost reminds me of like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like it's a game that we've just been hearing about for so long that we're like, is this game ever actually going to come out? Like it's George R.R. Martin writing a story for a Soulsborne game. Like, are you kidding me? This is going to be ridiculous. Like, how is this ever actually going to get made? And now it's like, yeah, another month and it'll be here. It's just weird to think that this game is actually happening.
Because before it finally got actually unveiled at the Game Awards 2020 or E3, whatever it was, I can't remember what it was, but before it actually got revealed and we actually saw the game, it really was to a lot of people like, no, this is just vaporware. So yeah, I completely agree with you that we didn't think we were ever going to get it, but it's almost here and I can't wait to get my ass kicked. Oh, I almost said act kissed. I hate when I get my act kissed. All right, Sean, you want to get news of the week?
Let's do it.
All right, Sean, obviously we spent a whole podcast last week talking about Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King. But now we've got some follow-ups and let's get into it. Phil Spencer had an interview this week.
Hang on.
Yes.
I know what you said.
What I said.
It almost sounded like, well, I mean, you said Activision Blizzard King, but it sounded like you said Lizard King. And then I started thinking of
Robert California. You don't even know my real name. I'm the GD Lizard King. So the actual Lizard
the
King.
Effing Lizard
no,
King.
he did say effing. Okay. Oh yeah.
He
said,
obviously, but
I'm the bleeping Lizard King. And he just looks at the camera like, you don't even know my real name. I'm the Lizard King. I love like that season was not great.
It was not great, but I love James Spader and I have much more appreciation of that character than I ever did when it was airing live.
For sure. Way better than season 9. Season 9 was saved by like the last 4 episodes with the stupid freaking the Mike guy trying to get in on Pam and everything. It was bad, but those last 4 episodes are perfect. Anyways, Phil Spencer had an interview this week where he said that he is confident that the workplace issues at Activision Blizzard King will be resolved now that Microsoft will be in charge. Cool. He said he is interested in bringing back old IP, and he did name drop King's Quest, which is like the oldest RPG ever. Guitar Hero, which if it's like Guitar Hero Live, Sean, I hope you're enjoying that I just gave it to you. And I just gave it to you like 4 years ago. And Hexen. Now, I'm trying to think back to our episode with Brent and Jason. Did y'all play Hexen in your LAN parties at all or no?
I don't think I ever played it.
Okay.
We may have like dabbled in it, but I don't remember. If I did, I don't remember much about it. I remember the name more than anything, but
I
I
mean,
don't know that we ever actually played it.
it was a first person quote unquote shooter, but the shooting was
Yeah.
like magic and whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
I remember playing it with Randy or something. I mean, not together because he had a computer, I had a computer, and we weren't smart enough back then to figure out how to hook them up. And we weren't going to bring our gigantic gateways and stuff over to the other person's house. But yeah, I would love to see Hexen come back just because it's Hexen. Spencer also said that he is happy with some of the new IP that ABK has developed over the past years. But something that's funny to me, oh, this is not funny. The Knicks lost to the Cavs. Okay. Spencer also in the interview talked about how he's worried about big tech companies getting into gaming because they don't belong there. He says he trusts Nintendo, he trusts PlayStation and everything, but like Amazon's got shopping and they've got web services and Google's got search and blah, blah, blah. But like, we don't want them getting into games. Microsoft,
Like Microsoft.
the absurdity, like the fact that people still buy this guy's bullshit is just astounding to me. And I'm getting to the point now as we keep talking about Microsoft, I'm taking off the PG gloves. I don't care. This guy is so full of shit and I'm so sick of it. And I cannot believe the amount of, I don't even know if you saw my Twitter last week when Yong Yeah was like, hey, congrats to Phil about this tweet that we're going to talk about here in a minute. And I was like, you're not even knowing what he's saying. The amount of mentions I got, I was like, oh my God. I had people calling me a fan kid. Like, oh my God, you fan kids need to grow up. I'm like, I'm 40 and all I'm telling you is the truth.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm 40. But yeah, so that was interesting because Phil Spencer continues to be a snake oil salesman. I don't care what anybody says. Sony responds after the announcement of the acquisition, or the planned acquisition, I should say. Sony said via a spokesperson, quote, we expect that Microsoft will abide by contractual agreements and continue to ensure Activision games are multi-platform, end quote. Anything to read into that, Sean, or is it just corporate, whatever, contractual speak? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't put much stock into that at the moment. I think everybody's just saying what they need to say right now. And I don't think it means anything.
No, I think it's pretty much like, yeah, they signed contracts with Activision for probably at least Modern Warfare 2, maybe Diablo 4, maybe Overwatch 2, and maybe Call of Duty 2023, whatever that ends up being. Outside of that, it doesn't mean anything. So then there was Phil Spencer's tweet, which this is the thing that Yong Yeah retweeted, and I went at him to laugh at him, and then everybody came at me because y'all think that Sega versus Nintendo was bad. Let me just tell y'all, Xbox versus Sony is just as bad, if not worse, just because we have social media. Like if we would have had social media in the early 90s, it probably would have been unbearable, but right now it's definitely unbearable. Phil Spencer's tweet, and I quote, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It's contracts. Congrats, Phil. You're going to abide by contracts. Good for you, you freaking jackass. And our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship. First off, like I said, you're confirming that you're going to honor contracts. Congratulations, Phil. Second, your desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Desire. I desire to be ripped and get down to a BMI of like 5. But just because I desire that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
You mean body fat percent?
No, BMI. Your BMI. Your BMI. Like when they take the things, they go here and it's like, your BMI is this.
Yeah, that's body fat percent.
No, but it's called BMI. Look it up right now.
No, BMI is like your weight divided by your
Yeah.
height in some kind of unit. If you had a BMI of 5, you would be like a ruler.
Ripped.
You'd be a yardstick.
No, I
I
think
think
BMI is
you wouldn't even be a
whatever.
skeleton. I don't even
Shut
think a
it.
skeleton would have a BMI of 5.
Shut it. I think a good BMI is 21 now that I think about it. But anyways, you're killing my point here. I desire to be in shape is what I'm saying. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. And also saying that you desire to keep you're Googling, I can see you. You desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Greg Miller, while I have a lot of issues
How tall are
with
you?
5'9"
5'9".
and 3/4, yeah. And that's actually real. I'm not being stupid. 5'9" 3/4. 5'10" and a half with shoes. I got a lot of issues with Greg Miller. But as soon as this tweet came up, he was basically clowning on it and was like, so you desire to keep Call of Duty. Does that mean, hey, we wanted to put Game Pass on PlayStation, but Sony wouldn't let us. So, we tried. Sorry, no more Call of Duty. Collins brought this up lately too, that he thinks eventually we get Game Pass on PlayStation. I just cannot fathom that in my head. The amount of porting work. I mean, these consoles are basically PCs at this point, but the amount of porting work that would have to be done to get these games to be playable on PS5, I can't fathom it. What I do think it just means is that, yeah, we're going to keep Warzone on PS5. And once this deal closes, if you want to play the new Call of Duty, if you want to play Black Ops Cold War, Fortnite 2, you got to get on Xbox and Modern Warfare 3, Xbox, whatever. All right. What did you Google and find?
I just Googled a BMI calculator. And so it just says, enter your height, enter your weight. And I tried just putting, just for the heck of it, 5'9" and 50 pounds. And it's like, check your numbers, try that again. I'm like, all right, 5'9" and 100 pounds. If you are 5'9" and 100 pounds, your BMI is still 14.8. So you would have to be like 5'9" and like, I don't know, 30 pounds to have a BMI of 5.
And also you're dead
But
in
yes,
a casket.
I get.
You know what I was trying to say. So Sean, about this bullshit Phil Spencer tweet, what do you think? What does it mean for Call of Duty? Like, again, as I've said all along, we're going to get Modern Warfare 2 on PlayStation this year. If you want to play it, that's fine. After this year, I think it's all up in the air. But what do you think?
I don't really buy it. I mean, our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Well, their desire is to get
a BMI of 5
on PlayStation. So yeah, their desire would be for Sony to put Game Pass on PlayStation, and now Call of Duty is on PlayStation. Like, yeah, the fact that he desires that means nothing. Again, I'll go back to what we said last week. I personally don't care. I'm not going to miss Call of Duty in the slightest bit. Now, if Guitar Hero comes back and they do it right and I can't play it on PlayStation or, some of these other titles, like, okay,
you can come over here and
hurt a little bit. Yeah. As of right now, it's like, it's Call of Duty. I don't care. You can have it. But no, it's a bunch of BS. It's not good for the industry as a whole, but it is what it is.
I do wonder what contracts are actually in place. Like, has Sony already signed a contract for Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2? Again, Overwatch 2 shouldn't even be a thing, but since stupid. It's going to be, did they already sign the contract? The one thing I wonder about, though, even if it comes to PlayStation, now that I do have an Xbox, Diablo 4 is one of those games where I would definitely not spend $70 when it comes out. But now that I have an Xbox, would I play it on Game Pass? Yeah, for sure. I don't know that I'm going to put 100 hours into it or whatever, but I would definitely at least try it. So maybe it ends up on my Game of the Year list of 2023. I'm not sure. But yeah, I do wonder what the contracts, and we're going to figure out all of this over the next year and a half. We're in the early stages here, but yeah, it's going to be, interesting to see when all the contract details come out. And again, apologies for coughing and snorting and hawking loogies. I got COVID. Sorry. Last item here. Schreier tweeted out that he had an article on Bloomberg that there is cautious optimism inside of ABK, with Kotick apparently I'll still say apparently because until he's actually gone, I'm going to say apparently leaving. They are hoping for more creative freedom. However, they are worried about layoffs. Yeah, no kidding. Also, this was interesting. Call of Duty may stop being a yearly release. If it does stop being a yearly release, that makes me think it is an Xbox exclusive because they no longer need to sell 30, 40 million copies. So you agree?
Yeah.
It would probably be best for Call of Duty, by the way. You don't need these games every freaking year, especially with Warzone just being a persistent thing. It is what it is. But anything else you want to add on any of the fallout from ABK? I don't know what I just said. ABK and Microsoft.
IBK. No, I'm good.
Another kind of a follow-up here. This came out this past week that apparently Microsoft, who loves Bobby Kotick, I don't know if they knew this, but apparently Bobby Kotick wanted to buy Kotaku and PC Gamer to try to turn opinions around about him and Activision Blizzard. This comes from Video Games Chronicle. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick was interested in acquiring video game press publications in an attempt to change reporting around the company, it's been alleged. A new report by the WSJ details the reasons why Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, was likely made easier due to ongoing problems with the company. However, a section near the end of the report makes the claim that prior to the acquisition, Kotick was considering the possibility of buying certain video game publications. According to the report, Kotick wanted to own these publications in an attempt to paint Activision Blizzard in a positive light again. Quote, Mr. Kotick has been eager to change the public narrative about the company, and in recent weeks has suggested Activision Blizzard make some kind of acquisition, including of gaming trade publications like Kotaku and PC Gamer, according to people familiar with him, end quote. It also states that an Activision spokeswoman disputed this, that Geo Media, the parent company of Kotaku, declined to comment, and PC Gamer didn't respond to comment either. I just got to laugh at Microsoft getting in bed with Activision and giving this jackass not even the golden parachute, the diamond parachute, the platinum parachute, whatever you want to call it. This dude's going to make $350 to $400 million at least walking out the door from this after all the horrible things he did. And now we find out this jackass was like, whatever, I'll buy Kotaku and PC Gamer and I will make them print good stuff about me and Activision. Have you ever heard of anything like this in gaming?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I guess I get what he's trying or was trying to do, but like Activision buys Kotaku and then the next day Kotaku, breaking news, Activision, best company in the world. Like, exactly. Who's going to believe, like, how is that going to accomplish anything? This guy is an idiot.
He's an idiot. And the one thing I never got behind was like, ooh, Bobby Kotick, he makes all these millions of dollars and whatever, blah, 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 before all the sexual harassment and all that other stuff happened. When people were just going after him for like making money, I'm like, well, whatever. It's capitalism. I know a lot of you people in the media don't like that, but it's capitalism. But now when it comes out that like he was at the head of this company that just treated so many people so completely horribly. And then you find out that he was like, I'm going to buy Kotaku. Of all the websites that would never, ever, ever, ever print anything positive about Bobby Kotick, he's like, I'm going to buy Kotaku? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Again, all this is going to play out over the next year and a half. We'll see what happens. Last item in the news list, Sean. I feel like we've already been going for over an hour. Wow. We still got a bonus episode or two. December NPD results are in. When it comes to hardware, the Switch was again the best-selling console of the month. It beat the Series S and X combined, and then the PS5. So the PS5 finished third. However, the Switch and PS5 were essentially tied when it comes to revenue, which means Microsoft is selling a lot of Series S's and not a lot of X's, right?
Probably, yeah.
It has to be. When it comes to software, Sean, what do you think was the best-selling game of December?
Call of Duty Vanguard.
Are you looking at the doc?
Yeesh.
Damn it. Well, because 2 was going to trip you up because number 2 is Halo Infinite. So
That's shocking.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know anyone that has an Xbox that doesn't have Game Pass. So it's almost like, are people buying Xboxes and they're like, ooh, cool, new Halo here at Target. I'm going to buy that. And they don't even know what Game Pass is. Like, I don't know how, and this goes across Xbox and PC, but still PC Game Pass has Halo Infinite, or you can buy it on Steam. It just boggles my mind that it was number 2.
Yeah, I feel like Xbox is putting all of their eggs in a Game Pass basket. Whether or not that
Game
makes
basket.
sense financially, that's what they're doing. So when you see an Xbox exclusive show up on like the top sales, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I also don't think it's a good thing. Like,
Right.
are there really that many people buying Halo instead of just paying for Game Pass? I mean, Game Pass is already, it's the best deal out there, hands down. You know, credit to Mike, to Xbox. It's the best deal in gaming. But I just can't fathom how there's so many people that don't and it's Halo. Like, if you have an Xbox, you're playing like, I can't imagine there's a lot of just like casual game. Something just doesn't add up. It's just so weird that would be number 2 when you can just play for free. I don't know. Something, I'm not saying it's fishy. I'm sure it's legit, but like, why doesn't everybody that has an Xbox, and then some people that don't have an Xbox, why does everybody not have Game Pass? I don't get it.
The only thing I can think of is that maybe people on PC are just buying it on Steam, and PC people don't really have Game Pass is the only thing I can think of.
Maybe.
But I mean, we would need a bigger breakdown than that. But yeah. Number 3 was Pokemon, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. That does not count digital orders. Number 4, Madden 22. Number 5, Battlefield 2042, which is rumored to go free to play now. Can you imagine if you spent $70 on this stupid game 2 months ago and then they're like, we're going to go free to play. Number 6, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 7, hanging in there, Spider-Man Miles Morales. So basically, if you get a PS5, you buy Miles Morales, I guess is what that means.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't.
I mean, I agree. It was not a fun platinum, though. Playing through that twice, even though it was short, was just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Number 8, Mario Party Superstars. Number 9, NBA 2K22. And number 10, this stupid game won't go away, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Software for all of 2021. Number 1, Call of Duty Vanguard. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So right there, you see that if these games do end up being exclusive to Xbox, Sony's in a world of hurt, because my God, it's Call of Duty. Like they've been like the marketing, partner with them forever now, ever since like 2014 or 15. I can't remember what it was. And now you can't even get these games to get 70% of these. I don't know. Sony's going to be pushed into a corner. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to buy Capcom, Square, and Konami and remaster Metal Gear Solid 1 through 3. Number 3, Madden 22. Number 4, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which means this game is sold like crazy because it just came out in November. Hello. Number 5, Battlefield 2042. Number 6, Spidey Miles Morales. Number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 8, Resident Evil Village. Number 9, MLB The Show 21. Number 10, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. One thing that makes me sad, Sean, the top 20 for the year, Metroid Dread was not on there. I know it came out in October, but
that's shocking.
Yeah,
but still,
that makes me sad. And one note from Benji Sales on Twitter: VR and AR sales were up 180% in the holiday period. Dollars were up 153%. Full year units were up 163%. Dollars for the full year were up 137%. Quest 2 obviously was the biggest factor there. The whole point in just saying this is that PSVR 2 has the potential to friggin' kill it. They got to get it right, and they got to price it right.
Are you going to get RE4, or are you just going to wait for PSVR 2 and then just play it there?
At this point, I'm going to wait because it's going to come out on that. And I'm hoping Alex will also.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to be so busy over the next few months. Like if I haven't played it yet, I'm not going to play it yet. Now, then, tomorrow.
Forever.
Now it's time for the wrap up, Sean. We touched on this in our last episode, but Take-Two has acquired Zynga for $12.7 billion. And a week ago, that sounded like a big amount of money, but it was only a quarter of what it ever ended up happening with the thing. Elden Ring has officially gone gold ahead of its release on February 25th. It will take about 30 hours to beat, but there is, quote, many dozens more hours of gameplay. Again, I'm so hyped for this. It's going to kill me. I know that. It's going to kick my ass. I know that. But I want to be able to play a Souls game where I can jump in an open world, and I can ride a horse that can jump up on rainbows and float to islands in the sky. Islands in the sky.
The twist. How I feel about the horse.
It looks cool, but
I just have never had a game where you can ride a horse and have it
correct.
Just feel right. Like I never used the horses in Breath of the Wild ever. Like even if it took twice as long, I would gladly. I mean, I would fast travel, but like Breath of the Wild, I'm walking wherever I got to go. I'm not gonna go find a horse. Like I hate it. It's not fun. Same thing with all the Phoenix Rising. What was the game called?
Yeah, Immortals.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising. I never used like any of the mounts in that. Like I don't know. I hope it's not a big part of the gameplay. Unless maybe they'll nail it. I mean, maybe it will be and they'll do it right, but I've never been a big fan of like horseback in games.
What I really wonder is how big the world is. Like, will I feel like I have to ride the horse to get from A to B to C to D? Or is it just a cool thing to have if you want? Or you need it just to jump on the rainbow up to there or whatever.
Yeah.
The Twisted Metal PS5 reboot has been moved away from Lucid Games, who did the horrible Destruction All-Stars, over to Firesprite. So again, Firesprite is working on Horizon Call of the Mountain for PSVR 2, and they're also working on Twisted Metal PS5, which we assume will be coming out when the TV show does. I don't know why it's getting a TV show, but it's getting a TV show. GDC Game of the Year nominees were announced, and they are Inscription, Forza Horizon 5, Resident Evil Village, Deathloop, and It Takes Two. Also, DICE announced their Game of the Year nominees, and they are Deathloop, Inscription, It Takes Two, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Returnal. I don't get the Deathloop thing. I don't get it. It's like critics love this game and no one else does. I haven't played it, but it's just confusing to me. Sony has removed PS Now gift cards from UK retailers. So we assume we're going to be hearing about Project Spartacus very quickly. They need to tell us about it with everything that's happened over the last week and a half. Stalker 2, the Microsoft exclusive or timed exclusive, has now been delayed from April all the way to December 8th, I think it is, of this year. Are you sad, Sean?
Very.
Me too. Looks like Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out March 24th, according to some PSN leaks. Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, I don't know what happened there, is coming out April 5th, finally, after like 17 delays. WWE 2K22 is out March 11th. And for some reason, Rey Mysterio, who's older than me, is the cover star. I kind of have hopes for this, but I'm definitely in a wait and see right now. Like the little bit of gameplay we saw with the different meters and, new gameplay engine, all this, I have some hopes, but I'm definitely going to wait and see, especially after how 2K20 or 19 or whatever it was went.
Right.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land is officially out March 25th. Are you going to pick this up? I don't know.
I'm more intrigued than I ever thought I would have been for the
Me too.
I like Kirby in general, but I'm just like, I don't think I care. But this, I don't know. It looks pretty fun. I'm definitely intrigued.
Me too. Again, it's going to be a wait and see thing for me and see what else I'm doing in March. The Hitman trilogy is out now. Combines Hitman 1, 2, and 3 into one package. It's, of course, also on Game Pass. So maybe I'll finally get to play Hitman 3 after Hitman 2 completely disappointed me. Banjo-Kazooie is now officially on Switch Online Expansion Pass, and Majora's Mask is coming soon. Also, I've seen reports that Nintendo is quietly, slowly fixing the emulation issues with N64 games. So hopefully that's true. A report came out this past week from Bloomberg saying that Sony is going to make more PS4s because of the PS5 shortages. And then Sony said, no, we're not doing that. You're idiots, Bloomberg. So good job, Bloomberg. However, Microsoft did confirm that they discontinued all Xbox One models at the end of 2020. So I'm glad we're hearing about this now. Netflix did release a Cuphead show trailer, and it's coming out next month. I still haven't watched the trailer. I just want to be like, when it comes out, okay, I'll watch it. And hopefully it's good, but I don't know how it can be as good as
it looks. Yeah, I don't think it will be, but I mean, it, as you would expect, it just looks like you're playing Cuphead. It's so cool, and there's like so many of like the bosses and stuff, or like characters in the show. Like, I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I may just watch this and be like, I don't understand. Why is this a thing? Like,
right?
It looks cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's actually going to be any good, but I'm definitely going to check it out.
Me too. And the last item here on the list, Capcom released a Street Fighter 35th anniversary logo, and they also teased the future development of the series. I feel like it was 2 years ago that we had the 30th anniversary and we got the best compilation fighting game ever. And now we're already in the 35th anniversary.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's been 5 years.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like, I don't know if Street Fighter 6 is coming out this year, but I think it's coming out next year at the absolute latest. I think we at least see it this year, but I don't know if it comes out this year.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's a PlayStation exclusive. Suck on that, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 200. And I don't even remember. What did I say this was? 268 of the Two Player Co-op podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to sign off now and let this video export, and then we're going to get back on and do our bonus episode for our patrons this month. We will be back, hopefully, in studio together next week. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.